welcome to the Monday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Monday morning. Hey Heat, how's it going? I see. But what do you suggest I should do? Morning. What do you suggest I should do? Do I need to make it slower? Hey Swoop, how's it going? I haven't seen you in quite some time. Should I make it slower? Or just like a longer scroll? Okay, because I wanted to like have a whole bunch of like stuff going on at the same time. So maybe I can reduce it? I don't know. It looks like 4. Gotcha. Okay. I mean, we could work on that. I've been really busy and actually kind of burned out on politics. True. Hey, listen, Swoop, I do not blame you. I do not blame you for that. That's for sure. I do not blame you. You know what? In fact, Heat suggested a community movie night, where we actually get together and watch a movie on Sundays. I'm still trying to decide if we should do it like twice a month or like once a month, where we don't do politics per se. We get together on the Discord and have like a movie night. You're always free to join that. You're more than free to join that. In fact, we're aiming to do it this upcoming Sunday, to have like a movie night or something. That's the goal. The first ever movie night to be on Sunday. Yeah, I do like the idea. I think it's important to just kind of have one of those, like, you know, from time to time have like a break. You know? Have an election on the 6th. Interesting. What's going on? In Scotland, nice. It's for the seats on the Scottish Parliament. Interesting. I didn't know that that was going on right now. BRB, no problem. Alright, folks, we definitely have a few headlines to go over, and Sunday is Mother's Day, if that makes a difference. Oh yeah, true. Thank you for reminding me, Heat. Thank you. We can do a, I mean, movie night is only gonna be, like, for a couple of hours, right? For, you know, for the duration of the movie. So I think that maybe we can do it. And regardless, I mean, I could just run it from anywhere I am. Anywhere that I am, I can run it. I just need Discord and a laptop. Hey, Spirefall. SNP easy win? You think so? I mean, to be quite honest, I don't know what's going on in terms of like Scottish politics or anything like that, so I really can't comment. Oh, the tea leaves. Alright, well, I respect the tea leaves, okay? I respect the tea leaves. This one was kind of a gimme though. Well, I don't know. Gotcha. Gotcha. Hey, I mean... Jesus. Okay, so I think it's safe to say that they're pretty much in the clear. Oh yeah. Oh, that's the... Now that name I vaguely know. Also, folks, I want to thank all of you guys for showing up in the Saturday Catterday for Bree's birthday weekend. I appreciate all of you guys showing up. That was really awesome of you guys, and thank you guys. And really quickly, Small Talk 94 with the offline follow. Smack Talk 94 with the offline follow. Thank you so much. Alright, so we do have some headlines to go through. Let me start pulling some of them up here. No, I was not aware of this. Thank you, Google Doodle. Is it Doodle? Google Doodle, thank you for bringing this up to me. I did not know it was Teacher Appreciation Week for US teachers. Teachers are the most underpaid and underappreciated profession, and they definitely deserve more because they are so crucial. So crucial. Alright, folks. We do have a couple of headlines to go over, so let's get started on that. We turn our attention to Florida, of course. We start with a couple of Florida headlines today. Matt Gaetz. Oh yeah. As the plot continues to thicken, folks. The plot continues to thicken. Gaetz associate wrote in letter that congressman paid for sex with minor. Yeah. Needless to say, content warning. Joel Greenberg, a central figure in the ongoing investigation into Florida Republican Representative Matt Gaetz, wrote in a letter obtained by the Daily Beast that he and Gaetz... Oh man, this guy's throwing Gaetz under the bus. If this is true, this is really bad. And if this is true, this is really bad. The Daily, obtained by the Daily Beast that he and Gaetz paid for sex with multiple women, including a minor who was 17 at the time. The letter was drafted after Greenberg asked Roger Stone, a close ally for former President Trump, for helping obtaining a pardon during the final months of Trump's term. Yikes. Hey Jesse, how's it going? On more than one occasion, this individual was involved in sexual activities with several of the other girls, the congressman from Florida's 1st Congressional District, and myself, Greenberg wrote in a letter in reference to the minor. Yikes. This is really gross. From time to time, gas money or gifts, rent, or partial tuition payments were made to several of these girls, including the individual who was not yet 18. I did see the acts occur firsthand, and the Venmo transactions, Cash App, or other payments that were made to these girls on behalf of the congressman. So, I mean, if this is true and all of this continues to come to light, the more and more evidence starts to pile up. Doesn't look good. And if so, I hope that these people get what they deserve. Alio coming in hot with the 13 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Good morning. Morning. So we've got a first-hand eyewitness account, allegedly according to this news article, claiming that not only did he see the acts firsthand, but he also saw the receipts, Venmo transactions, Cash App, and other payments that were made to these girls on behalf of the congressman. CNN has not seen the letter and can't verify the details of the Daily Beast story. Exactly, so that's why I'm very careful, and I'm saying allegedly, and until more information comes up, this is what we're working with. In earlier drafts of the letter obtained by the Daily Beast, Greenberg claims that he and Gaetz had sex with a minor who they thought was 19 at the time, but then later learned was underage. I immediately called the congressman and warned him to stay clear of this person and informed him she was underage. Yikes. He was equally shocked and disturbed by this revelation. It seems to me like they're doing everything they can to save themselves from this mistake, allegedly. News of the letter is sure to fuel fresh scrutiny on Gaetz, who the Justice Department is investigating over allegations involving sex trafficking and prostitution. A spokesperson for Gaetz told CNN in a statement Thursday evening, Congressman Gaetz has never paid for sex, nor has he had sex with a 17-year-old as an adult. As an adult, that was a very clear distinction there. This is clear lawyer speak. Politico has reported that Mr. Greenberg threatened to make false accusations against others, and while the Daily Beast story contains a lot of confessions from Mr. Greenberg, it does not add anything of substance and certainly no evidence for the wild and false claims about Representative Gaetz. Wait, hold on. So, what? And certainly no evidence, really. If this is true, this dude is claiming that he has first-hand knowledge, first-hand receipts, Venmo payments, Cash App payments. Hey, sourcing support, how's it going? I know. Oh no, I know. We're not meant to technically break the law. We just want to be legal predators. And furthermore, if this guy is cooperating, again, if all of this is true and this guy is cooperating with the investigation into Gates, then it stands to reason that this guy is probably telling the truth. Because if he's not, and he's leading the investigators astray, and he breaks that cooperation, and he's lying, then that's him. That's his neck on the line. So there's no real when you begin to cooperate with authorities, there's no real incentive to lie, unless there's like extenuating circumstances where you know you're gonna do some like legal jujitsu to get out of it. But like in like 99% of the cases, if you're cooperating with authorities, it's because you're gonna do your part to try to save your neck, because you're already on the hook. Oh yeah, the Matt Gaetz and the Tucker Carlson, that was ooh. Didn't Tucker had to like cut him off and be like, "Whoa, dude, not me. Don't involve me in this stuff." Didn't he have to like cut him off? Greenberg's attorney declined to comment to CNN, citing attorney-client privilege, i.e., do not say anything, do not talk to nobody unless I'm there. In a series of messages exchanged over the encrypted messaging app Signal and obtained by the Daily Beast, Greenberg wrote to Stone, "If I get you 250K in Bitcoin, would that help, or is this not a financial matter?" Jesus. I assume that this is like them attempting to buy a pardon. I understand all of this and have taken it into consideration, Stone replied. According to the outlet, I will know more in the next 24 hours, and I cannot push too hard because of the nonsense surrounding pardons. Imagine that. The nonsense surrounding pardons. Jesus. I hope you're prepared to wire me $250,000 because I'm feeling confident. So that's what a pardon goes for nowadays. $250,000. Well, I don't know if the pardon is 250,000. I think to get on the list to be able to potentially get a pardon is 250,000. Not a bad price. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. If that's what gets you a pardon in Bitcoin, by the way, which is like what, 4 Bitcoins? Who's talking about the Alba party? That was Spirefall. CNN's Chris Cuomo said on Thursday evening that Stone said to him that he doesn't buy this, he didn't help, and he never took money from anybody. He doesn't recall any letter, and he has never heard of Greenberg implicating Gates. Yeah, I mean, I could play that game too, but okay. He doesn't, okay, so he told Cuomo that the Daily Beast text communications are out of context and incomplete, and that he never tried to get Greenberg a pardon. Okay, I mean, show the receipts then, because so far, the mounting evidence doesn't look really good. Stone told the Daily Beast that Greenberg had tried to hire him to assist with a pardon, but denied asking for or receiving payment. Okay, so then what's this about? If it's out of context, show the receipts. If it's out of context, if it's out of context, then show the receipt saying, well, actually, this had nothing to do. And like, what kind of like official matter would need 250K in Bitcoin? What kind of official matter would need that? If anything, like, if it's not related to this, it's related to another shady business. So, I mean, that's not the defense you think. That's not the defense you think it is. He did tell the outlet that he had Greenberg prepare a document explaining his prosecution. What? CNN previously reported that Green has been providing investigators with information since last year, including information about encounters he and Gates had with women who were given cash or gifts in exchange for sex. Yeah, well, the main problems here are how, the main problems here are like, what did those, where did those cash payments come from? How was this made? And of course, there was the issue with the underage girl, right? The more information that comes out of this story, the more and more it doesn't look good for Matt Gaetz. Florida lawmakers move to punish social media companies. Nice. Social media companies face the wrath of Florida Republicans as lawmakers were poised on Wednesday to send legislation to the governor as part of a campaign to punish online platforms who some lawmakers say discriminate against conservative thought. It was another key legislative victory for Governor Ron DeSantis, who urged lawmakers to deliver the legislation for his signature as part of his campaign to rein in big tech companies in how big data handles information they collect from consumers and in how social media platform treats their users. Now, this is not the first article to report on this, but you can find it. You can find it. You can absolutely find it. Let's send a message to these big tech monopolies that Florida will no longer stand for their shenanigans. That Representative Blaise Ingoglia? If you want to send a message to big tech, if you want to send a message, how about you start enacting antitrust legislation, which I don't think the state of Florida has that option. I think antitrust has to be done at the federal level. So why don't you push for that, okay? Why don't you ask the Biden administration to focus and work on antitrust legislation, okay? Democrats invoked the name of former President Donald Trump in dismissing the efforts as a partisan effort to curry favor with the Republican base. Yeah, of course. I mean, this is all... Hey, Reddit Forward, how's it going? This is all political posturing. That's what this is. Okay? This is all political posturing. I'm convinced that the reason why Governor DeSantis is so adamant about these things is because he's trying to build his national profile. That's what he's doing. He's trying to build his national profile, and in 2024, he's going to give it a shot at the Republican nomination. That's just what I think. Big data who? I don't know. This bill is a retaliation for the former presidential administration being banned from social media sites by spreading false information, inciting riots, sedition, and violence, said Representative Anna Eskamani, a Democrat who sought to kill the effort in her chamber. The bill was filed after Twitter permanently suspended the account of Trump, a strong ally of the governor, after Trump supporters stormed the Capitol. The social media giant had muted some of the Trump posts because of concerns of his tweets would foment further violence. DeSantis is a strong ally of the former president and the Republican governor, supporting hefty financial penalties against social media platforms that suspend the accounts of political candidates. The bill that had won approval by the House would fine companies $250,000 a day for doing so. And I have a question: how is this legally going to be enforced? And furthermore, you know how there has been some tech companies that are moving into the state of Florida. Why would they do so now? Why would I, as a tech company, think about moving to Florida now because of this? It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, no, the DeSantis is the prime Trump worshipper. True. True. The Republican governor launched his offensive against social media companies in February when he accused platforms like Facebook and Twitter of censoring conservative ideology. Okay. And he called on lawmakers to punish social media companies who suspend the accounts of people running for office. The effort did not come without drama. It appeared to have died earlier Wednesday when an accompanying bill failed, but Republican leaders managed to get the bill reconsidered, and it narrowly won passage. Social media platforms have become modern-day public squares, and Republicans accuse social media companies of censoring conservative thought by removing posts companies consider inflammatory, or using algorithms that reduce the visibility of posts that go against the grain of mainstream ideas. The First Amendment was central to the argument of supporters and critics alike. You vote against this bill, you're voting against freedom of speech, you're voting against equal protection, and you're voting for censorship. Oh man, that's so weird. There are no credible studies showing that Twitter removes tweets for ideological reasons. Why are these Republicans trying to regulate businesses like this? Aren't they concerned about capital flight? No. Opponents defended the right of social media companies as private entities to control the flow of information on their platform. The social media proposals will have to return to the Senate for final consideration before it can head to the governor for his signature. The broader effort is to regulate how ideology interacts with daily people's lives. A separate package of bills dealing with consumer privacy is expected to be up for final consideration by the Florida Senate on Thursday. The legislation would limit how businesses collect and use the information they harvest from people's activities, including where they eat and shop and what they read and post online, and other information archived by big data. Now, first of all, what does big data mean? Second of all, there is an argument to seriously look into regulating how these companies collect and use the data that they gather on us. There is an argument that absolutely these companies need to be regulated in terms of like how they collect the data, how they use the data, how they sell the data. I mean, transparency for one would be nice, but we don't really have that, do we? But Facebook controlled me when I meant I'm gonna move to Twitch. I will say this. There is an argument for why and limiting how businesses, especially how like big, how for example, Facebook gathers information, how Google gathers and uses information. Absolutely. There are very good and very valid arguments as to the problems with that, especially considering that, Facebook has had multiple oopsies when it comes to our data. Yeah. Alright, so actually, I think that, I do want to see this. I'm curious, as someone who is and lives on Twitch, I am curious to see what this is about. Somebody posted this on the Discord, and, alright, let's see.
Mainstream media has their claws out now for Twitch. So this is incredibly frustrating to me because I've seen this playbook over and over and over. And so now I want to come out here and explain the dynamics of this to everybody. So this is what mainstream media does whenever there's a platform that they view as competition and serious competition that has a chance of really taking viewers from them, market share from them, and becoming more popular. So we already saw this. The original attack from mainstream media was on which social media outlet? YouTube. We also saw this with Substack. We've seen this with Clubhouse.
I muted myself, but YouTube.
That starts out as completely unfiltered, a free and open platform, a place that ultimately is like a genuine meritocracy in a sense.
Oh yeah,
where the cream
100%.
rises to the top, the most entertaining and
100%,
interesting
Alio.
rise to the
100%.
top, and you start attracting a lot of eyeballs and a lot of attention. Any outlet like that, eventually mainstream media starts running hit pieces. So there's a title, this is in the New York Times, Extremists Find a Financial Lifeline on Twitch. And they basically say, like, listen, you got these crazy QAnon people, and they're making thousands of, I love that, they're making thousands of dollars, so they can't even say like millions, they're making thousands of dollars, it's a financial lifeline for extremists, they must do something, they must crack down. So this is exactly like what happened with Adpocalypse on YouTube about 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah,
I don't know
but
how many of you recall the specifics of this, but what happened is like it was like a Nestle or a Kraft ad that ran on like a white supremacist channel, and then you had the mainstream media, a number of outlets at the exact same time ran articles saying, oh my god, YouTube is irredeemable, YouTube is terrible, YouTube is the worst, look at what's going on. You have Nazis and white supremacists getting rich with mainstream ads on their channels. This is unacceptable. YouTube must do something. So instead of YouTube responding to that by saying, this is an isolated occurrence, it's very rare that you have regular schmegular ads showing up on extremist content, the extremist content isn't even that popular, whatever. Instead of responding like that, what did
now
YouTube
hold
do?
on.
They panicked because they wanted good press, and they said, all right, defund, demonetize all of news and politics and do it right now. And that's what they did. And so you had channels like mine, you had channels like David Pakman's as well at the time. Our funding went to $0.00 overnight. It was the scariest thing ever. You went from doing fine to thinking within the next few days.
Now hold on. Okay. I will say this. I agreed with the fact that I agree with the fact that obviously it is a problem. Okay, if you have these like extremist channels catching traction and things like that, and it's also a problem that they are obviously monetized, but it is also a problem to blanket nuke the entire section of news and politics on YouTube, right? Yeah, I agree in that sense. Like, okay, they should not have nuked the entire section of news and politics of Twitch, right? They should not have done that. Well, from what I know, spread it forward, a lot of independent news channels, regardless of their leanings, were demonetized and were pushed down in the algorithm. They were pushed down in the algorithm in favor of mainstream media because mainstream media was considered safe sources. They basically favored safe. They basically favored safe mainstream media accounts for a while in terms of like CNN and Fox News. Those were safe, and they boosted those instead of boosting they favored those over any independent news channels. And any independent news channels just tanked. They just completely tanked. But they still probably run ads before the independent media. Oh, yeah. By the way, YouTube put out a policy where even though I'm not monetized, they can still technically run ads and monetize. They can still run ads for their profit. And give me nothing. That's funny, Alio. YouTube is a little crazy sometimes. I think that what Kyle is saying in terms of like how YouTube overreacted and just nuked everybody. Yeah, that's a problem. Hey Ben, how's it going? They also demonetized a bunch of small news channels, or at the very least, some of their videos. Yep, that is true. Well, thankfully, Kyle's videos don't have ads running before now. don't have ads before right now. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, they can run ads even if you're not monetized on YouTube and then keep that ad revenue for themselves. They can keep that ad revenue for themselves. Unbelievable.
I might have to not do this anymore. Like, I might have to go get a real job. And it was terrifying. Now, thankfully, you know, Patreon existed, and all of us, all the creators who were...
Now, hold on, Kyle. What you do is a real job, okay? It takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of research to be able to do this, okay?
Hammered at that time, went to Patreon, and basically you guys, the audience, saved me. And so I learned that lesson then, that you never trust any of these platforms. But guys, the real genesis of Adpocalypse wasn't even the fact that some ads slipped through and got on extremist content. No, it was the fact that mainstream media covered that and blew it up and made it seem like a real scandal, even though it was an isolated incident. They made it seem like, you know, YouTube better crack down. Now, again, what's their motive in doing that? It's not that they have genuine concern about where the ad dollars are going or what's happening on these platforms. They see the eyeballs on these big outlets. They see that YouTube was getting unbelievable numbers, and that takes away from them. And so anytime you have a free and open platform that gets popular enough and gets big enough, the knives come out, and these are hit pieces. These are hit pieces to try to make Twitch destroy itself, just like before it was hit pieces to try to make YouTube destroy itself. And by the way, YouTube did basically destroy itself.
Well,
now the borderline content is deranked in the algorithm, so we can't, our videos don't show to new people. You have all these terrible rules that make it so that CNN and MSNBC and Fox News and John Oliver and The Daily Show, all of that is pumped out. All of that gets favorable treatment in the algorithm.
That part is true. That part is true.
Independent outlets get absolutely obliterated. YouTube destroyed itself because mainstream media said, we're gonna write hit pieces on you on a daily basis unless you...
I'm gonna push back just for a second. YouTube did not destroy itself. YouTube did exactly what it needed to do to keep the money going, right? YouTube is a company, okay? YouTube did not destroy itself. What YouTube did was destroy and throw under the bus independent creators, right? That's what they did in favor of profits. So YouTube is fine. YouTube is doing just fine. Anything that appeases the almighty ad safe dollars is what will be pushed in the algorithm, because that's how they make money. That's literally what it is. There's no like grand conspiracy behind this. It's just as simple as that. YouTube did what YouTube needed to do to maintain those ad revenue going. YouTube algorithm sucks. The YouTube algorithm sucks nowadays. It recommends me the same 5 John Oliver videos I've already seen. Jesus. Yeah, so because that's what makes the ad revenue. Okay? That's what it is.
To give us favorable treatment. And so what happened? YouTube said, okay, we capitulate. Please only write good stories about us and we'll give you favorable treatment. That's exactly what's happening now with Twitch. So you thought Twitch was the bastion of freedom away from YouTube? It was for a while. It's probably not going to be much longer. Now, I don't know who's the head of Twitch and who makes these decisions, but I would venture a guess that sooner or later, if it's not already the case, you're going to have a lot of mainstream outlets start broadcasting on Twitch.
Oh, hey,
and
listen.
then there's going to be an attempt to de-rank all the genuinely popular stuff in the algorithm, all the independent voices, all the outsiders, and they're going to...
Okay, Kyle. Alright, Kyle. I get your concern. But here's the meme, okay? Here's the meme. Twitch doesn't have an algorithm. Twitch doesn't have an algorithm to boost creators. That is one of the biggest problems. That is one of the biggest problems Twitch is having. Is it doesn't have a serious algorithm to push any type of creators. Now, what Kyle says is true, they may be incentivized to then put an algorithm in place based on deals they made with, mainstream whatever, right? That might happen. But who knows? I don't know. Yet. Correct. Yet. But it's been years, and I don't think they feel like... They haven't really worked on it. They haven't really done much. They haven't really done much about anything, to be quite honest, sourcing support. I mean, Twitch is more about growing communities through exposure. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. We don't really have, like, a set algorithm. We don't have a really set algorithm, and I think that's where, that's where Kyle is, like, a little bit wrong here. Yet.
There's going to be an attempt to de-rank all the genuinely popular stuff in the algorithm, all the independent voices, all the outsiders, and they're going to redirect back to corporate media in the same way that YouTube did it, because this is their playbook. Their playbook is run hit pieces on any free and open platforms, make those platforms destroy themselves, and prop up corporate media. This is the way it works. And so I just want to warn everybody in advance, because I'm seeing it already. I've seen this playbook before. It's going to happen again. They did it to virtually every outlet you could think of. They did it to YouTube, they did it to Clubhouse, they did it to Substack, now they're doing it to Twitch, and they're not going to stop. They will not stop until the management of these companies makes the decision to destroy their own product and prop up corporate media. And as soon as you start propping up corporate media, all of a sudden the hit pieces will stop. What you need is intelligent leadership, management at these companies to say,
that's not happening, Kyle. What you're getting is management designed to increase profit. Keep an eye on API response from the server. They will probably return some kind of tag like is_paid_media or something if they do start deranking based on organizational preference, but I do not think that it is likely in the near term. Yeah, I don't believe so. Now, I will say, if you start seeing mainstream media start making Twitch accounts and start, like, unironically broadcasting on Twitch, then I might be a little bit concerned. But regardless, Twitch still doesn't have a real algorithms. Twitch doesn't really have a algorithm like YouTube does, or like Twitter does. The front page is all there is, correct, with rotating themes, correct. Mainstream media are liars, sometimes. Sometimes that is true. All they really have is a recommended for you. Exactly. They don't really have like an algorithm, like a robust algorithm like YouTube or like Facebook or like Twitter. The problem with MSM is isn't what they show, it's what they don't. Right, so that's why you kind of have to go around and take like bits and pieces from different areas to kind of, put the whole picture together, right? I just get the feeling that Kyle's perspective is specifically skewed by the amount of income he's lost from YouTube's changes. True. In my opinion, Twitch is a million times better. Oh yeah, I love Twitch. I don't think that CNN could ever compete because they lack the organic nature needed to interact. Correct. Correct. The MSM is good at concocting emotional fear and anger towards others. That's true. Towards others, that's true. That is true.
That's bullshit, and you can fuck off, and we're going to remain a free and open platform. but that requires principles and actually believing in something. And unfortunately, certainly the CEO of YouTube doesn't, and I don't know if the head of Twitch does or doesn't, but...
The head of Twitch and the CEO of Twitch, or whoever's running it, the executive, they don't care, okay? So if it turns out that this is true, and it turns out that it's going to be more profitable to allow mainstream media to do their thing, you best believe they will develop an algorithm, and they will make business deals with CNN and Fox News and all these other mainstream, as if it does make them money. If they really wanted to, they could. If you are not streaming, you're losing viewers and followers. Twitch is the Uber of content. True. The constant treadmill, that's right. Yeah, seeing the same vids on all the lefty channels gets old. Yeah, that's why I try to keep it, like, different. And I tried to... I tried to literally just do, like, the, just the news in terms of, like, go over, like, basic MS, like, kind of like mainstream news, but give my perspective on it. And occasionally I'll do, like, different, like, politics content as well. And occasionally I'll do video game content too. So the whole point is to always, like, have a different, like, vibe and be, and try to be as engaging as possible. Because that's what makes Twitch, right? As Bleep Blop Ben pointed out. The organic nature and the interaction is what makes Twitch, right? I love your presentation and content, don't worry. Yay! Once Sam Cedar got on Twitch, you knew they were selling out to big corporate media. True! True! True. Big media will get to us. Will get to us all.
We'll see, but this is a disturbing trend. Any outlet, any platform that's free and open eventually gets destroyed, and it gets destroyed from within because idiots respond to bullshit, fake smear campaigns and pressure from mainstream media.
Are vegans healthy?
If you do it right, veganism is healthy. Gotta do it right. This content is terrible. I'm gonna keep watching every day until it gets better. Yeah, I highly recommend that. And I also highly recommend that you gather as many people as you know, and gather as many people as you know, and tell them that this is just the worst content ever, and that if you keep watching this content, eventually one day it will get better. It will get better, right? But that only happens if you keep watching. Okay, that's the trick. That's the real trick to it. Correct. It would be like saying, are greasy burgers healthy? No. But if you have like one burger every so often, not really a problem. Like, I try to stay away from meat as much as possible. I have gotten to the point where I can... I think I eat like overwhelming. I think I eat overwhelmingly chicken, as far as I can tally up. I eat a lot of chicken, a lot of turkey, trying to keep it limited to that. Although I do, in some occasions, have like a burger. I'm here to hate watch. Yes, I love hate watchers. If you keep watching, it will get better because it's interactive. True, there you go. Steak is my weakness. I mean, it's not bad. But I think that, like, I don't know. For me, steak is, like, even rarer. Even rarer than me eating a burger. I eat a lot of Doritos. I'm getting my vaccine. I'm getting my COVID vaccine. Then I remember I'm volunteering getting myself stabbed, and I'm nervous. Well, I mean, the positives is, well, You won't have to be worried about COVID. The family are splitting a grass raised cow. We are buying directly from the people raising it. They are next to the farm. I know who raised this animal and what conditions it was raised in. Oh, cool, Memo. Cool. Hey, Memo, how's it going? Big dangly things, how's it going? Wing, how's it going? That did the trick for me. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like the thing that I will struggle most with is probably if I ever do it, it will be like letting go of chicken. I don't know. It's like I try. Why are needles so scary? I did this a billion times. Well, I mean, it is kind of nervous. I mean, even I, as like I look up appointments. Ugh, you know. So I get it, but hey, once it's done, it's done. I'm thinking about choosing between the Pfizer vaccine or just the J&J one, just one and done, you know. Republican win in Texas special election raises questions about Biden's popularity. I don't know about that, but the TLDR of this story is that I like a strong name brand. Just pretend you're there to get some energy. I mean, it is technically true. I like a strong name brand. Yeah, the TLDR of this article is that the Democrats lost this this runoff, so there would be two Republicans competing for the congressional seat. As the representative, funny, ironically enough, the person who left the seat vacant passed away from COVID, and his wife is taking up the mantle, and she won her runoff, so there's two Republicans gonna fight it out. Oh wow, hey guys, oh dude, so creative. Wow, amazing. Unbelievably creative. Man, I wish I was as smart as you. I wish I could be as smart as you when I grow up to make up these phenomenal creative names. Now, granted, this is Texas, so I don't think that necessarily that, you know, a Republican replacing another Republican doesn't necessarily question Biden's popularity. It's just Texas. Texas is in this particular area, it's very red, and it was held by a Republican and is going to be replaced by a Republican. So that's not really like a good bellwether to say, wait a minute, is Biden's popularity all of a sudden waning? Not necessarily. Now, if if you were to tell me there was some blue districts that were falling to Republican hands, then I would be concerned. Your problem is that you're viewing Rupert Murdoch garbage? Yeah, but I still think that the underlying, story is the fact that, the Democratic Party put 10, and not one of them made it. And to point out the irony that the person who could potentially replace the representative was the wife of the person who passed away from COVID, denying COVID, and all of this other nonsense. 10 in one primary? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, big dangly things. I don't even know. I think it's just like, I mean, they're just random trolls. It happens. I mean, it happens. It's like the mentality of a child. Okay? The mentality of a child. And it's also to point out, how they're gonna play this. Oh, good lord, stop it. Dems should prepare for a shell-shacking in 2022, even though there was only a loss of 400 votes, which isn't really that much. One of the Democrats lost by 400 votes. So I don't know about shell-shacking. I wouldn't use this metric to say that the Democratic Party is in for shell-shacking in 2022. Okay? I would say that it's more probable that the Democratic Party gets swept. It is more probable that the Democratic Party gets swept because of their inaction and incompetence, rather than using that one race, that one political race. Multiple districts or 10 in one district? Yeah, it was one district. It was Representative Wright who left his seat open when he passed away from COVID. You did it? Nice. Awesome. Sweet. Yes, Chai Bureaucrat and Bike Shop Girl bring up another good point. If also Democratic officials want to also not dilute the vote, this should be another lesson, an example of what not to do. Just saying, if they're interested in winning. I wish I had a live audience in my apartment. I mean, I kind of do, don't I? Kind of what it is. You could have a live audience in your apartment. Just keep the butt going. Correct. Nah, we're good. Oh man, we have a massive 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 dabs. Just remember the best quote I ever heard. I think it's from Some More News. Democrats are Batman. They say all the right things, but they do ever change anything, and the Republicans are just a joker and laughing and burning piles of money. Somewhat. I don't know of how I would make that analogy work, Jesse. I don't know how I'd make that analogy work. Alright, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 dabs. Alright, we're gonna do the 4 dabs. Ready? Ready? That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And just one good one, yeah? Yeah. That's a good one. It mainly just made me laugh. I wonder how many of those dems were Republican plants in the field to dilute it on purpose. I don't know. It wouldn't be the first time like the Democratic Party has been incompetent in an election and has dropped the ball in terms of like electoral races. It wouldn't be the first time. Oregon lawmaker who opened state capitol to far-right protesters faces charges. Oregon State Representative Mike Nearman, the Polk County Republican who allowed far-right demonstrators to breach the state capitol in December, now faces criminal charges. According to court records, Nearman has been charged with first-degree official misconduct, a Class A misdemeanor, and a second-degree criminal trespass, a Class C misdemeanor. The decision to charge Nearman follows a month-long investigation by state police that began in December 21st, as lawmakers met in special legislative sessions to take up COVID-19 relief that day. Surveillance footage showed Nearman exiting the locked Capitol building into a throng of protesters who were trying to get inside the State House. In doing so, he appeared to purposely grant entrance to the far-right groups, demanding an end to ongoing restrictions related to COVID. Jesus. I've seen this. I think that there was a, or maybe it was me who was confused, but I saw this video as being conflated with people letting in the insurrectionists in January 6th. But no, this is in Oregon, I believe. Just casually opening the door. Look at that. Is that a Q flag? Wait, is that a QAnon flag? Jesus. Unbelievable. Oh. Where are the back the blue guys? Where's the blue lives what is it? The in blue line flags. Huh? Oh, weird. I'm fighting the urge to make a lazy Nearman bad joke. Give me that sweet, delicious irony. I want to see it. I want to see the sweet, delicious irony. Someone in there has to have a thin blue line flag. I would also like to point out that these morons, none of them have a mask. Oh man. Wait. What did that flag say? True, Cheeto Ray. I need to get one of those sound on my little soundboard. Little but why would they put that dog in danger like that? Yeah, I was just trying to see if we could get some delicious irony. But I guess not. Yikes. Motorists angered by yuppies with dogs jumped curb, rammed a woman at Logan Square picnic after allegedly yelling anti-Asian comments, said witnesses and officials. Jeez. A 57-year-old motorist apparently angered by yuppies with dogs. What does that even mean? Allegedly yelled anti-Asian comments before slamming into a group of friends enjoying a birthday picnic, seriously injuring a woman in Logan Square, witnesses and officials say. The crash happened about 5:15 p.m. in the 2900 block West Logan Boulevard when a red pickup truck jumped the curb and went into the grass median between the inner and outer Logan Boulevard before hitting at least one adult pedestrian, a woman, according to the fire department, Chicago Fire Department. He was taken in serious condition to Advocate Illinois Masonic Medical Center. Her friend said a woman became briefly trapped under the truck, a Ford F-150. She said she was conscious and talking while being treated at the scene. She was released from the hospital late Saturday night with her friend Rob Lopez that Sunday morning. The group of friends, about 10 people, some with dogs, said the man argued with them briefly before attacking them, angered by the presence of yuppies with dogs. What? What is a yuppie with a... What does that even mean? So, like, people just hanging out, having, like, a picnic? Oh, stop it. I don't need DSW. One of the people in the group said the man... One of the people in the group said that the man shouted anti-Asian comments at a member of the party before gunning the truck towards them. The incident was being investigated as a crime, not a hate crime specifically, said Chicago police spokesman, who was citing preliminary information that could change. Yeah, I mean, you gotta make sure you got all your information in a row, because that could change at any moment. Complaining about yuppies doesn't make sense unless it's the 80s. Yeah, like, I don't know what that means. Hey, Glaydonius, how's it going? The charges against the man were pending as of about 9 p.m. Yeah, so I imagine that they need to do the investigation, and they need to determine whether or not this was racially motivated. But we do have one picnic goer, a person who was just there, saying that the man yelled F Asians or goddamn Asians at Lau, who is Asian. Oh, so yeah, I mean, it's totally possible. Hey, Lostu, how's it going? Morning. Young urban professional eyes? Okay, that makes sense. Alright, folks. I'm going to take a quick second to bring your attention to a couple of people. Wonderful content creators. But it was in the 80s, so it doesn't make the most sense. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So I want to bring your attention to a couple of wonderful people. Please make sure you follow Eat420_. Please make sure you follow Lawsu. And also, Bleep Blop Ben was also in the chat. Please make sure you follow them. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. Go check out Atlantic World Jesse's podcast. If you guys hang out in the Discord, there is a link to that as well. And sourcing support, that is true, Memo. That is true. That is very true. Here, I got you. Make sure you follow all of these wonderful creators. Let's see, did I miss anybody else? I don't think so. Make sure you follow all those wonderful, oh sure, yeah, you can use commands. Gave you IP. The comment escalated the arguing, jeez. And the man eventually hit the gas and hopped his truck over the curb and slammed into the picnic, striking and trapping the woman. Now said that he did not hear or could not remember the alleged racial comment, but he said he wasn't initially antagonistic to the man, he simply wanted him to leave. I 100% heard Asian, that's kind of what stood out. We're a multicultural group just hanging out, and he said that immediately, F out of here, or F off, or whatever. Lopez said, indicating the comment angered him and elevated the shouting match. After striking their friend, the man attempted to flee. The picnic goer said, gunning his engine. A Yeti cooler was trapped under the truck, kept the wheels spinning from touching the ground and moving the truck forward, possibly saving their friend's life and the lives of those surrounding the truck's cab. Jeez. They said a pregnant woman was nearly struck by the vehicle, and we're going to tell Yeti the cooler saved our life. Jeez. Horrifying incident. I don't get it. Why are people like this? So yeah, clearly this guy is probably going to jail. I mean, There's no... It's very obvious. Mods only, true, and me. It's clearly obvious what this guy did. I mean, it's on... He tried to play it off like, oh yeah, I'm just walking out, and it just happens to be that this is where all the people were waiting. Oh yeah, 100% memo. But, I mean, how did you not know that those people were there? You could see them, you could hear them. You could see them, they're right there. What other motivation would you have? Yeah, he was arrested on scene. Oh, the driver, yeah. What other motivation could you have? You see the people here. Right here. Like, it's not like a, it's not like a secret, like he didn't know. Oh yeah, this Oregon story? Yeah, I mean, like... What more evidence do you need? What other possible motivation, right? You see the people outside. Guaranteed you could probably hear them too. Guaranteed you could probably hear them too. And then just casually, oops, excuse me, just casually, you know, just, I mean, he sees them. Look, he's looking right at them. He's looking right at them. I mean, his lawyer could try saying anything under the sun, but the video is pretty clear. I wouldn't be surprised, Alio. I wouldn't be surprised. Seems to have 4 pro-GOP articles and then 3 pro-GOP opinion articles. Yeah, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, don't think. Yeah, so the TLDR is this guy's gonna face charges, and I think that this guy's going to jail. I think that this guy's going to jail. Alright folks, I need to take a quick break. I need to take a quick break before starting this, these last couple of headlines. Okay. And I will take a second to, show for myself. Folks, if you enjoy the channel, and you enjoy the content, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you head on over to our YouTube channel, like the stream, do all the awesome stuff. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. All of that really does help us out, and spread the word as far and wide as possible to anyone and everyone that this is the chillest place to be for news and politics in the AM, from 9 AM to 11 AM Eastern Time. That's what we do here, and on Saturdays we have an awesome Saturday Catterday. So yeah, and as someone suggested, just keep watching this channel until it gets better, and tell everybody and tell your friends to keep watching this channel until it gets better. I promise. We gotta watch every day though, okay? That's the trick. So make sure you hit that follow button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, do all the awesome stuff, and I do appreciate all of the support that you guys have given. Thank you so much. On Saturday, he gifted 2 subs. I appreciate that. Any subs, any free Amazon Primes, all of that does help support the channel. Of course, there's also merch, biddies, and all that cool stuff. Thank you guys. All your support is what makes this channel go. It still sucks, you better keep watching. Exactly, that's the whole point. Big dangly things. And tell everybody else to keep watching, because eventually, yes, it will get better. I promise. You just gotta keep watching, okay? Just keep watching. I'll be right back. Ooh, okay. So, for those of you that have been watching for quite some time, climate change is always something that I try to bring up, and that I feel that is incredibly important, if not the most existential issue that humanity as a whole has to face is, well, the destruction and pollution and degradation of our important ecosystems that keep us alive. And us meaning like the entire planet, us, all of us. So as always, I try to bring attention to the horrifying things that are affecting climate change, what is not being done or what is being done. If there is something being done, I always try to bring it up. But this is not good. A Canadian oil firm thinks it has struck big when fear can have it could ravage a climate change hotspot. Syringa? I don't know how to pronounce that. Syringa trees rise out of the Kalahari sand in a wide expanse. Hold on. In the wild expanse of Kavango East, as the humid heat warns of afternoon showers, it's easy to imagine this place has looked the same for hundreds of years, except that is for the road. Recently widened, graded, and rammed straight, new roads like this could mean change is coming. Carved out of the trees and surrounded by a chain link fence, the change could come as a shock. A giant oil rig tower towers above these flatlands, dwarfing the trees. This is just horrifying. This is just horrifying. The oil field that Recon Africa wants to harness is immense. The firm has leased more than 13,000 square miles or 30,000 square kilometers of land in Namibia and neighboring Botswana. The find, potentially containing 12 billion barrels of oil, could be worth billions of dollars, and some experts believe the oil reserves here could be even bigger. That's not good. We know we now have discovered a new sedimentary basin. It is up to 35,000 feet deep, and it is a large, very expansive basin, says Craig Steinke, the co-founder of Recon Africa. Behind him, a team is operating a 1,000 horsepower rig capable of reaching depths of 12,000 feet. Even with COVID-19 lockdowns, they are working fast. This is horrifying. This is not good. Oil's the past, friends. True Carpet Packs, how's it going? Another fantastic content creator. Follow. Steinke? Steinke is confident. He says the detailed aeromagnet survey shows that the basin is large enough and deep enough to contain oil. Every basin of this depth in the world produces commercial hydrocarbons. It just makes sense. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to imagine it means they think, or they are confident that they've struck oil, which is not good. Recon Africa is calling this part of eastern Namibia and western Botswana the Kavango Basin. It's part of a wider geological formation already known to geologists. Some 110 million years ago, it formed at the bottom of a shallow inland sea. Basins are depressions in the Earth's crust formed mostly by tectonic forces over hundreds of millions of years. Think of an empty swimming pool. Over a very long period of time, the pool is filled with material, leaves, sand, and organic matter. Hang around long enough and you won't see the swimming pool, just the stuff inside it. Yeah, that makes sense. When the sediment is sitting at the right depth and is formed by the right mix of organic matter, such as the remains of dead animals or plants, it can, over tens of millions of years, turn into soil, a resource that has helped drive the world economy for decades. Today, that hunt for oil is triggering a fierce debate. What fierce debate are we having here? What exactly is the fierce debate we're having here? Supporters of drilling say the find could transform the fortunes of Namibia and Botswana, and the countries have every right to exploit their own natural resources. At what price? At what price? After all, so the reasoning goes, the developed world has spent the past century exploiting its own fossil fuel reserves and getting rich in the process. Who? Namibia? No. Namibia. Namibia. Opponents are using a familiar argument against oil exploration. They believe a major find could devastate regional ecosystems. Yeah, which also, consequentially, could have a problem. Could have a problem economically. Or Namibia. Same thing, gotcha. Another dab, alright, another dab. There you go. They believe the major find could devastate regional ecosystems. Yeah, if you do such damage, you could also risk having negative effects economically, so you're back to square one. They have a powerful tool in the fight against hydrocarbons. In the face of the climate crisis in a region uniquely vulnerable to rising temperatures, should oil be exploited at all? No. No. Not at all. Hold on, folks. Not at all. Okay. Not at all. I think that we should be moving towards, Namebe. No. I'm not even going to pretend I know how to pronounce it. So I'm just going to go with the, pronunciation that they've given me here. That video is perfectly aligned with the camera. Oh, true. True. That is like a 1 in a million chance, because I did not plan for that one. I did not mean that at all. But cool. High production value, true. Yeah, so there's no real good reason. Precision alignments, true. There's no really good reason for why we need to continue perpetuating this industry that will eventually make so much damage that all of this will be irrelevant. Unlike neighboring Angola, I'm gonna keep messing this one up. Namibia doesn't have an oil industry of its own to speak of so far, yet it's already being hammered by the world's dependency on fossil fuels. Southern Namibia has already twice the global rate of warming, and northern Namibia is staggering 3.6 degrees Celsius per century. Said Francois Engelbrecht, a professor at the University of Witwatersrand in South Africa and a lead author in the 2018 IPCC climate change report. That was in 2018. Francois? Huh. Gotcha. Well, you guys, between all of this reading, eventually I'm gonna be able to pronounce all of these difficult, well, not difficult, but like names that I'm not used to. We'll get there. Northern part of Namibia and Botswana and southern Zambia are likely the region in the southern hemisphere that is warming the fastest. Multiple projections show that as the planet warms, these regions will warm twice as fast. Those increasing temperatures will have a specific impact on the region. When warm air rises over the equatorial region of Africa, it goes on to sink over the subtropics, creating the Kalahari high pressure system that inhibits rain. Most common in the winter months, this weather system creates a semi-arid environment in the area. But as climate warms, those dry spells will become more frequent in the summer months, Engelbrecht said. The change in weather patterns and the corresponding increase in heat will create an even hotter and drier climate. It could destroy the way of life of the people who live there. Right, so again, the whole point was like, the argument is, well, they get to develop their stuff economically, yet at what price? Okay, because that's going to turn around and make their entire place inhospitable. At what price? These short-term gains at what price are these short-term gains gonna come at? Like, I think that this is one of the things that people don't, or are failing to really grasp, right? At what price are these short-term gains gonna come at? Did you see the new Google Earth time-lapse? Yes, I showed it on stream, actually, sourcing. Yes. Yes, I actually showed it on stream. At least you're not trying to pronounce a small town in Wales. Okay, I'm not even going to try, Memmius. There is a weatherman who can say that name easy. Well, I would certainly hope so. If that's their a job as a weather person to, you know, say the weather in that area, I would imagine they'd be able to say the name. Another point is that Namibia doesn't have the resource itself to drill for the oil, so the profits will not be going to Namibia itself. Right. Right. That's also a good point. Correct. So it's not even like to the benefit of not necessarily to the benefit of the Namibia people. Correct, Soup.
There's a place in our universe, a marble spinning in a vacuum.
This one deserves the full screen.
It contains life. It contains us. It may look solid and enduring, but now we can see it differently. Across time, living and breathing. Across time, we can see that we, all of us, are changing this place faster than ever before.
Correct. I mean, look at this.
We can see the impact of the way we live. Of the choices we make. And see their consequences. There's a place in our universe. How we decide to treat it today will determine our future.
True.
What will you think? What will you do when you see our world changing before your own eyes?
I mean, true. Yep. Yeah, there's an entire link software place to access this Reddit board. I'm pretty sure we went over this at one point in the stream. I'm pretty sure we went over it. Just horrifying. Just horrifying. Farmers move cattle. This is the caption of this photo. Climate scientists warn that in just 30 years, unless aggressive mitigation efforts are imposed, the way of life in Kavango will be untenable. Untenable. Exactly what is the logic to sacrifice and this isn't that long, to be honest. This is 30 years, right? 2050. If things continue in 2050, this way of life, that what people consider normal, will be untenable in that area. So what exactly do they have to gain, assuming that they do have anything to gain, and not the oil companies, by throwing away their entire area for short-term potential gains? A fresh pair of Nikes, not even. Farming is already marginal. When it gets drastically warmer and drier, the means for adaptation will be extremely limited. Cattle industry will likely collapse. That Engelberg stressing that the aggressive action on climate change could help reduce the damage. While the future of climate change looks bleak, its impact is already being felt in Namibia. Farmers in southern Africa are already experiencing more frequent droughts and changing weather patterns that make small-scale livestock and crop production more difficult. Yeah, of course. An eternity of forgiveness in heaven, yeah. Oh my goodness, my work PC is giving me a headache right now. Okay. The end of oil. Not so fast. With the severe repercussions of climate change looming, the pressure to shift from fossil fuels to renewables is gaining ground, and climate activists are pushing governments to leave oil in the ground. I mean, that would be ideal. The shift on climate action was on full display at U.S. President Joe Biden's Leaders Climate Summit last month, where world leaders were busy trying to outdo each other by promising hefty cuts in greenhouse gases. Yeah, Platitude Central, and I have a hard time trusting any real action, any meaningful real action. Biden announced that by 2030, the US would reduce its emissions by roughly half from the 2005 level. The European Union wants to become carbon neutral by 2050. The message is clear: in the developed world, oil could become a commodity of the past. I mean, but like, how much time do we have? I don't think that this... Okay. The big risk is that the global north makes the transition and that Africa becomes the dumping ground for the world's fossil fuel technologies. The last place where this kind of energy is being pursued, said Engelbrecht. In a museum in Namibia's capital, Windhoek, where some of the country's diamond, uranium, and other mineral riches... Oh, my work computer's restarting. Why? And other mineral riches are on display. Tom Awinda, the Minister of Mines and Energy, makes the case for continued oil exploration. Yeah, no kidding. He says that Namibia has a fundamental right to exploit its own resources, including fossil fuels. Okay, but at what cost? At what cost? And have you bothered asking the actual people? The person who will profit from it will champion it. Who knew? Yeah, that's true. But like... Again, has anybody decided to ask the Namibia people if this is what they want? And secondly, after asking that question, are they willing to essentially destroy their entire place for the sake in 30 years? For the sake of what? Chances are, I don't think anybody's really asking the people. They never ask the people. Yeah, I guarantee that the people of Namibia have absolutely no idea what the ramifications or what they're trading off for. Guaranteed. That's right. Guaranteed that they have absolutely no idea what they're trading off. Any volume of oil that is commercially viable will mean a lot to our economy, not only in terms of employment, but income that would come into the treasury. What does that mean? And if so, couldn't there be like other ways of developing your nation? And furthermore, I think that if there is a real interest in solving the climate crisis, one of the things that do need to happen is not only do we need to fix things here at home, but we need to also develop blueprints to export to countries that can't afford it. Okay? And build an international coalition that way, saying, look, this is what we did, X, Y, and Z. How can we help? That's right, Mamius. Climate funding for the developing world, a key element of the Paris Agreement, remains far short of what climate advocates say is needed to help countries. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, like this is what needs to be happening. While Namibia's wind and solar potential are some of the best in the world, our window says that there's still a place for oil too, and he says the country should be given the chance to exploit it. I mean, again, at what price? Have you seriously considered anything beyond the short term? Whereas you can build an entirely new industry with wind and solar that will still create jobs. Makes me think you just don't want to. There's a feeling from developing countries that somehow the resources were used to develop the Western Hemisphere are suddenly now not the right thing to do, and we need to do something else. Well, that's because... Oh, this is so frustrating. It's not suddenly. This is decades of research. Decades of research have shown just the destruction that fossil fuels have caused. He points out that Namibia is fully committed to climate change treaties, but maintains that to abandon oil, Namibia needs concrete compensation. Okay, so this is where the United States and other countries come in and say, all right, cool. What do you need? Just as simple as that. What do you need? And as it's stated here, you have plenty of potential. What do you need to start this, to get this going? That is also correct, Memius. Niall Kramer, a South African oil industry consultant and former oil executive, put it bluntly, someone who's sitting in Norway and has a very good quality of life because of the oil that was found in North Sea is now telling the world that it should run on renewables. If you're sitting in Africa, your incentives are very different. Wait, you can't compare to something that happened. Hold on. This is an unbelievably like horrible argument. So you're saying that we should never advocate for progress because, well, that's basically what the argument is here. Sorry folks, we should never sorry folks, we should never have social security because people didn't have it beforehand. Yeah, exactly, Soup. There's another analogy. Yeah, we shouldn't clear any type of student debt because there are some people who paid off their debt. And what about those people? Yeah, they shouldn't have had to suffer in the first place. But so what you're saying is that like everybody else has to suffer just like you did. So like that's kind of like the same argument. Like we know scientifically the argument is already done. Fossil fuels are the major contributor to climate change. I mean, did you hear about Rydon took the lead in the NYC mayoral race? No. I'm not keeping up with too much of the mayoral race. I see that, oh, that's so... Wow! Hey, guys, we have, like, a like... How old are you? Are you, like, 5? I mean, I guess A for effort. I'll give you an A for effort. I'll give you an A for effort. I'd like to point out that also Rhydon is a Pokemon, okay? Really? That's pretty generous? Well, the only reason is because I fell for it. I didn't think that one through. Anyways, incredibly childish. These incentives are lining up with the needs of the global oil industry. While some developed nations are wavering on oil, Recons Africa's Stanky readily admits that Namibia provides a welcoming environment that doesn't see anything wrong with plunging the company's oil drill smack bang in the center of climate change hotspot. The oil is where you find it, right? And you can't blame the Namibian government for wanting to achieve energy independence. This is a meme. This is a dead meme. Okay? This is a dead meme. How can you have... Okay, wouldn't you having solar and wind, which according to what they say, this specific area has one of the best spots in the world. Wouldn't that achieve energy independence? Wouldn't that achieve energy independence if you have the perfect spot for solar and wind? This is not an argument. If you want to achieve energy independence, it is not linked to whether or not you have fossil fuels. I thought Raiden was like a lightning god or something. Yeah, Raiden is, but hold on, did I read it? No, Rhydon, the way it's spelled there, Rydon, is a Pokemon. As it relies on materials which are not sustainable yet. And I would argue that solar is, generally speaking, not only cheaper, but also like far beyond more sustainable than fossil fuels. Because like then, you know, it's far better than fossil fuels. So yeah, of course. And we can improve the ways we make solar panels too. But the point being is that we need to get off fossil fuels as quickly as possible. And this right here is a dead meme. Recon Africa boasts that it was given favorable terms by the Namibian government, 5% royalty fee, and a 35% corporate tax. Last month, the company announced that it found a workable oil system, but said it needed to dig 2 more wells to be sure. Yikes. Scientists and environmental activists say Recon Africa hasn't conducted sufficient environmental impact studies, that it could threaten one of the world's unique ecosystems if it goes ahead with its plans to exploit any reserves it finds in the Kavango Basin. The ephemeral Omaraba Omatako River lies close to Recon's first exploratory drill site. The sensitive water system flows into the Kavango River, and from there into the Okavango Delta in neighboring Botswana. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Delta is a major draw for international tourists to the region. The Kavango River fans out to the Kalahari Desert, creating an inland wetland that never makes it to the sea. It is a haven for some of the most diverse animals and birds on the continent, which, again, like all of these have domino effects. All of these things have domino effects. That's true, Swoop. Yes, I did see that the Earth's axis has tilted due to the Arctic ice melting. Yep, that's true. We went over that too. You'll be lucky to find anything in the supermarket near me that isn't plastic, not got plastic packaging. Yeah, and we can do that. We can do away with that. We have alternatives, viable alternatives in hemp that could easily replace these plastic, these plastic packaging. Currently, the work that they are doing is not a big deal, but it doesn't have a large environmental or social footprint. Said Jan Ackert, a geologist and activist referring to Recon Africa. But if they find what they're looking for and expand production, the impact will be absolutely devastating for the Delta. Botswana's government has tried to allay people's fears of harm to the Delta. It says Recon Africa is undergoing appropriate environmental assessment studies before approvals for drilling activities would be granted. Press X to doubt. Yeah, I know, Soup, it's really bad. And we could easily do away with that. Like, we have the viable replacements in hemp. Ackert and water experts like Surina Esterius, a professor at the University of Free State in South Africa, fear large-scale oil production could also have an extreme impact on the local population. It is a water-scarce area where there is drilling, potential pollution could contaminate the groundwater, and the people depend on that, said Esther Heiss. In their de facto reservation near the drilling site, the leader of the San community has heard only rumors about Recon Africa's operations, but he fears the consequences. Again, what exactly is the benefit of this very, what exactly is the benefit? The benefit of the short-term gain, right? Hey, Anarchist Laboratory, how's it going? I'm worried that if they come here, they will only say the good things that they are bringing here, but they won't say any of the bad things. Yeah, that's the problem. You need to let the people know what exactly they're dealing with, right? The San are the first people of Namibia, but over many decades that have been pushed out of their lands and deprived of their way of life. Nobody wants to drink dirty water. Clean water is critical for our survival. Yeah, of course. One of the lightning rods of Recon Africa's exploration here was the early indication that the company intended to use hydraulic fracturing, better known as fracking, to exploit the Kavango Basin. The practice is highly controversial and blamed for significant water and air pollution and even earthquakes. Several of US states and countries have banned the practice. In interviews and company documents used to gain investor interest, fracking seems to be on the table, but after a considerable public outcry, the company has gone quiet on the practice. Instead, they will focus on conventional oil exploration. You can go on the Discord, and you can probably put it on general too. On general, depending on what the picture is. Oh yeah, the grapes. Yeah, put it on general. We have absolutely no intentions in developing unconventionals. Zero. Steinke said. Steinke using the oil industry term for finds exploited by fracking. The ultimate decision, he says, lies with the Namibian government, who I am trying to lobby. I don't get it. Like, okay. Awendo, the energy minister, told CNN that the decision on how any oil is extracted will happen once they know what is in the Kavango Basin. Steinke said Recon Africa has complied with all environmental laws and employs the best possible practices. As X'd out. I say to these people who are critics who likely have never been to Namibia, let alone the Kavango region, come to Kavango and let's just have a look at the environment and then you tell me that these people don't deserve a better lifestyle. Of course they do. Especially if they're standing on a major source of energy. You mean like solar and wind? You mean like solar and wind? This isn't the argument you think it is. You're trying to stir up like this emotional argument that like, oh, you know, look at the poor you know, Namibia people, and then you tell me you look at them in their eyes and tell them that they don't deserve a better lifestyle. Of course they do. Hey K, how's it going? Correct. So and what if they weren't sitting on fossil fuels? What would this author think? I think it wouldn't even be a conversation. Good, how are you? I'm hanging in there. I don't think this would even be a conversation. But even then, it's not a good argument, right? Even then, it's not a good argument. They're in a perfect position to have solar and wind, which would achieve energy independence, which would obviously create jobs because you have to make these things. You have to, you know, buy these things, set them up, and do the construction. So yeah, there are. This isn't the argument that that this is that you know, this isn't the argument that this person thinks it is. What is the argument? What is the author trying to argue? I think what they're doing is bringing attention to they're bringing attention to this. Canada, yep. So they're setting up a community-run oil field where the money comes back to the locals. Lamau, I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Oil companies have a very good track record of sharing their wealth with the people near fields. I don't know. Maybe? Not what they were talking about. Few people in Kavango East seem to know much about his oil company's exploration, but many are holding out for promise of work or better life. Mukoso, the Sand Chief, said that there isn't work for members of his community, meaning they had to survive on meager pensions of their elders. Every month that money runs out, he says, leaving them to depend on handouts and whatever food they can find in the bush. And that isn't much. While the Sand community used to roam freely in this country, hunting and gathering food, that way of life ended decades ago. Nature is important to me, but if you go into nature, there's nothing left. Yeah, and what do you think is gonna happen? Oh, it was sarcastic. Okay. Yeah, and what do you think is gonna happen once this gets going? He hopes to sit down with the representatives from Recon Africa to find out how his community can benefit. But as farming and cattle raising becomes more marginal because of climate change and young people seeking a different life, more and more people will move to informal settlements like the one around Rundu, the regional capital. Here shacks stock Kalahari sand on the edges of the main highway. Here too they hear rumors of future oil riches, but they need work now. Outside of Shabin, a lean-to bar common here, a group of men sat on a bench in the mid-afternoon sun. 52-year-old Simone Cavito tried to make money selling firewood. Here in Rundu, there's lots of people, but there's no jobs. Wait, that's it? I feel like there should be more to this. Not just these weird ads. That's it? Okay. The point being is, because I do have to start heading out in a bit. Unfortunately, we didn't get enough time to finish the article, but that's okay. This one is incredibly important. I'm glad we got to go through it. The point being is, it's clear that the population isn't being told exactly what's going on. Okay? And I think that, of course, they deserve a better life, a better economic opportunity. But I think that these oil investors, CEO dudes, are lying. I think the oil industry and the oil company is lying, and it's going to cost them their entire way of life. It's not a good deal. The short-term gains are not going to be worth the destruction of your entire ecosystem. They would never. The promise of short-term gains, of jobs, of energy independence is a lie. You have a good day, Alio. Is a lie. If you want energy independence, that can be achieved with renewables. You want to talk about jobs and economic development. If you want to talk about economic opportunities, these renewables will need jobs, will need people to settle this up. Hey, it's like a second Sunday here, a bank holiday, but good to know someone's putting the work in somewhere. Hey, Zio, how's it going? I see you. You can do these things without having to rely on big oil. And I think that given the full scope of information, it would be unlikely that the population would be okay with this. I am the one YT viewer. I see you. I see everything. It is unlikely to me that the population understands the full scope of damage. They just see, cool, we can get jobs. And because obviously they're desperately in need of like economic movement, and they will choose these short-term gains that they're promised. And then what? 30 years down the line, that's not a long time. 30 years? That's within my lifetime, probably. Gone. That entire area will be untenable. Will be uninhabitable. That entire area will be uninhabitable. And then what? And then what do you do? I'm fine with renewables, but that's a super nuanced topic. There's issues with renewables that need to be worked out. Yeah, I mean, sure. Mainly somebody pointed out that some of production of it can be unsustainable, but we can work that out. I think that the priority should be shifting away from fossil fuels. That should be it. Alright folks, unfortunately that is all the time I have today. I do appreciate all of you guys hanging out here. You guys are what makes this channel grow, and I appreciate all of you guys here. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure you hit the like button, like the stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the like here on Twitch, and join us every Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, doing the news and politics. Please spread the word far and wide that this is the chillest place to be, everywhere and anywhere. So make sure you spread the word, and of course, I appreciate all of you guys. There's phenomenal content creators in the chat, so make sure I will do now. I gotta go watch the start. Hey, of course. So make sure you just follow us here. I appreciate all of you guys here. Thank you guys so much. I'll be back tomorrow, Monday to Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I love you all. I love you all. Take care, and I hope to see you guys in the next stream. See ya. All right, who do we raid? Dirtbag. Peace and love. Take care. You take care. All right, let's head on over to Dirtbag. Show Dirtbag some awesome and difficult truth love. As always, I appreciate you guys. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for hanging out here. See ya.